I'm Santa Barbara Baker, and I'm bringing you one of my favorite seasonal pizzas. The holidays is a great time for pizza making. Break up some of that monotony and some of that fare. Put a pizza on the table. We got a delicata squash and caramelized onion pizza going on today. There's a whole lot more in the mix though. This is a super fun pizza. First off, the delicata squash. I love putting squash in the winter squash in the pizza during that fall winter months. Delicata, I feel, is an excellent choice. They roast up really easily, just in the oven, about 10 minutes till they're nice and soft. Just seasoned basically with just, a little bit of salt and pepper. I put a little olive oil on the roast. These are really nice, a nice earthy flavor. They're not overly, that cloying sweetness you get in some other winter squash. It's a solid choice, but you can choose a different squash if you like. Caramelized onions, this earthiness, bringing a little bit more earthy sweetness to the pizza. It goes excellent together with this squash. And along with that, one of my favorite pizza toppings that's, you don't see all that often, but it comes up here and there, some dates. These are from the Coachella Valley. It's a really fun pizza topping. I first saw it up at Full Life Flatbread up in Los Alamos, California. Really amazing pizza place. Another spot here, Bettina in Montecito does it as well on their potato pizza. They're really fun, really tasty. I hope you guys try it out. Along with that, some walnuts. I got these just roughly chopped. I think the walnuts adds a nice little textural element in there, and along with a little bit of acidity that the walnuts bring, really brings it all together. And around the Santa Barbara household, we like to keep it lit, a little bit spicy. So I have some jalapeños. I got the red here. Keep it seasonal. The red ones I think look really beautiful on the pie. And I find maybe they're not quite as spicy, but it depends on the plant. That just is a green jalapeno that's just been left to ripen on the plant a little longer until it turns nice and red. Feel free to leave these out if you're not into the heat, but I feel like with some of the sweet stuff going on, it balances it out. It's so bomb. This is one of my favorite pizzas of the season. Let's build this thing. We'll bake it together. It's pizza time. I have my natty dough all stretched out. That's my sourdough recipe that's up on santabarbarabaker.com. Always changing it up a little bit. It's been nice. The weather's cooled down here in Santa Barbara. The fermentation's been really good for me. Like going a little bit longer with the just ambient room temperature because the temps are nice and cool. Going for a little bit longer. Like this one I had out for 10 hours before it hit the cold fermentation. I'm starting building this pizza by putting the dates on the bottom. That's a key thing. With certain toppings, you want to be careful to make sure certain stuff doesn't burn. And dates are one of those ones that if they were on top, they'd burn in a very unpleasant way. So we'll put these on the bottom. That looks pretty good to me. Hey, you know what? It's the holidays. Let's just go all in on here. Put them all on. That's looking good. All right, onto the cheese. We just have some fresh mozz today, cubed up. That's a good choice. You could change it up though. Like something a little bit more funky could be a little fun in here if you're into that sort of thing, but you can never go wrong with the fresh mozz. Just putting a nice little amount on here, making sure got good coverage. And then gonna go straight into the caramelized onions. That's another topping you want to be a little bit careful with. They could definitely scorch in the oven, so we're going to put those a little bit lower on the pie. That's something I'm always thinking of when I'm building a pizza, is that ordering of the toppings, because what stuff do you want to roast up, maybe crisp up a little more in the oven, like those Roni cups, headies for sure. And then other stuff like dates that you don't want to burn, or like walnuts. We want like a little bit of toasty elements going on, but we don't want them to burn, so I'm going to put those on now. Go on here, just intermixing them in between the cheese. This is looking pretty good to me. You don't need a whole lot. You can always skip the walnuts if that's not your jam, because the crucial thing here is our delicata squash and the caramelized onions. We're going to do that next. Like I was saying, these can burn. We're going to go with that along with those walnuts below. But then, really the main star of the show here is that delicata squash. I feel like that's one of my favorite winter squashes of all time. I still love all you other squashes too, but this one I feel like, like I mentioned in my little intro, that it has a little bit more nuanced flavor to it. I think it's not just so cloyingly sweet, which some of them can be. It's really nice, great in salads too if you have it left over, so it will definitely not go to waste around your house. That looks pretty good. We'll get this all spread out. I like going all the way up there. We want to go, heavier around the edges, less so in the center, but we'll put a nice little dollop on there. That's looking good to me. That may be a little bit big on the caramelized onions, but we're all good here. The squash, we like to cook it up fatty at the Santa Barbara Baker House. The squash, these look super cool on here. The color's really nice. We'll load it up. We'll load it up fatty on these too. They're looking really good to me. These squash, they smell so good. These are so easy to roast off. You know, some of those other squashes, take some time to prep, longer to roast, a little more finicky to work with. Delicata is so easy. This looks good to me. I don't think we'll... you know what? While we're at it, let's go in. The only thing sketchy, you reload it up like this, it might be a little bit sketch baking it, but we're going for it. Living on the edge. Then to round it all off for that little bit of fire, we like keeping it lit. Some jalapeños. The little spice element in there, countering the sweetness of the dates, the caramelized onions, all that stuff going on. You know, squash is a little sweet too, but not too sweet. Looking good to me. I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit. We're going spicy today. We're into it. Gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, a well-seasoned pie is key. Get it loaded onto the peel. We'll watch it bake in the uni. Head in for a taste. It's pizza time. Getting our delicata squash and caramelized onion pizza loaded up on the peel. I can feel loading on the peel. This thing's heavy, little sketchy here. We'll see how it bakes up though. It's looking pretty good. The dough feels so nice today. Always, yeah, there's one little chance too. Sometimes when you load it like that, pulling it underneath there, your toppings move around. That's your one last chance to kind of fix it up. Pizza's looking pretty good to me, making sure every slice gets a bite of all the goods. This thing all loaded up. I turn the oven down. I do the full preheat. I was doing a little slow there. Now we're gonna have a little elongated pie. It'll be all good though. But back to heating the oven, I do it full blast. I turn it down just before the load. I want to get that deck super hot first though, but we're gonna do a little bit longer bake, 3 to 4 minutes. I'm soul baking here. Don't have a timer. We're just using our eyes, looking as the pizza starting to bubble up, seeing that fermentation that we worked hard on, or the dough worked hard on, popping up there, the leoparding, all looking good. You know, when you see it's some cheese starting to melt in here, that's all looking really good for your first turn. About 30 seconds in, just going in, freeing it up a little bit, turn, going up like this a little bit, then turn. Or excuse me, pull back and it'll spin the pizza. Let me pay attention here. Getting this thing, all right, see a little stickage there, getting this thing, going a little turn. There we go. Little bit sketchy. It looked like it was burning. The oven's really hot. You see that there? It's a little bit dark, but the dough's looking really nice. I'm gonna keep an eye on it here. I think I waited a little bit too long to turn, but I think we'll be all good. All right, this pizza is smelling so delicious though. All right, so you can just go in, nice little gentle motion like that. We'll get it spinning. It looks a little bit dark, kind of crazy leoparding going on there, but I think that'll still eat really nice. It's, you know, not burnt, I would say. Looking so far so good. The oven was cranked. We got a really good preheat on it today. The deck was about 900 degrees before I turned it down. Going in here for another little turn. We'll go in to finish this one off on the ultra low. It'll give us a little more crispy bottom. That's going, turning the knob clockwise, pushing in. Just past that, you light up. Nice little ultra low zone. That's what you want to do for those crispy pies, the extended bake. Just keep an eye on this thing. You know, it's looking pretty good. You can use that technique, or you can still just use this thing almost like a spatula. But that spinning technique, that's a really good one to learn. Get that pizza spinning, crisping up nicely. All right, just like that. Going in, turning, pulling back. It'll spin your pizza. Looking really good here. I'm thinking about, let's check the bottom. Looking really nice. Can I keep turning here? I'm thinking I'm gonna go into ultra low zone here because this thing is baking up really quick here. I'm gonna get that other side where it's a little bit lighter. You see that's like scorching a little bit here. Not that good. Ultra low zone, going up clockwise, pushing it in past the little point right there where you have to push in. Now we're in there. Ultra low zone. All right, I'm tripping a little bit because I feel like this thing's burning. Let's take a look here. All right, this thing's looking pretty good. This thing's got to finish. I'm going to take this thing out before it scorches. The oven was really hot today. Looking pretty good. I'm pulling this thing out. All right. We didn't get to finish on the ultra low, but it's looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit crispy on some of those bubbles there. But we got the full seasonal vibes. I've been making up this pizza, and this one's straight Headies for sure. It brings that heat, the little sweetness. It's got it all. It's full fall vibes. But first, let's let it rest on the rack. Let the crust crisp up a little bit so you don't steam the bottom. I'm going to slice it up. I'll meet you on the booth. Meet you at the booth. We'll have some pizza. It's pizza time. 'Tis the season at the Santa Barbara Baker household. This pizza smells so delicious. The bake overall, though, a little sketchy. I think I was just a little too excited, talking too much instead of paying attention. You gotta keep your eyes on the pie. That's the key thing. Baking in the Ooni Koda 16 out there, things can move very fast. So keep watching. So, and I feel like that's a little too dark on the top. Overall, though, I think it'll probably eat still pretty good. So the bake, we'll give it, is a moderately successful. Or, who are we kidding? It's a round pizza. It looks like it's baked through. It's a successful pizza. If we're eating pizza, it's a success. On to the pizza, though. The dough baked up really nicely overall. Handled very nice, stretchy. I was super into it. We'll see how it holds up on the pickup. This is such a loaded pizza. Always a little bit sketchy. We'll see if anything falls off here. Let me get that. I'm just going to do the assist there. Make sure that gets on. But holding up, you see that bottom there? It's looking pretty good. It's super thin, browned on the bottom. It's sagging maybe a little bit, though, because we're loaded up. We got that Delicata squash roasted up so good, along with the caramelized onions, dates, kind of a crazy little fun thing to throw in there. The jalapeños to spice it up. The walnuts for a little bit of acidity. Let's give this thing a taste. It's go time. This is one of my favorite seasonal pizzas of all time for good reason. It is absolutely delicious. The flavors coming together on this one is just amazing. As your bite just continues on, it just gets better and better. We've got so many elements going on there. The earthiness with the squash, a little sweetness from the caramelized onions, the walnuts, a nice little texture, little something that'll wake you up in there. But when you want to be really woken up, the jalapeños punching through, nice little heat so we don't get any of that cloying sweetness. One important thing too, just to round it all off, the homegrown OG, some chives. I like a little sprinkle of chives with a nice little color. There's a little garlic onion flavor in there. This is an absolutely delicious pizza. You can put this one, if you live that pizza passion lifestyle, you can just put that straight up on your Thanksgiving table, your Christmas table, wherever you're grubbing. Or you can, work it into your life in between those holiday moments. It's a delicious pizza. I hope you give this one a try. The recipe is up on SantaBarbaraBaker.com. That's the blog where you can find all the firemost pizzas, dough, sauce. I got it all. Share with your friends. I'm Santa Barbara Baker on Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Keep those holiday vibes going. Share the love. Enjoy delicious food. And keep making pizza. Keep dreaming about that pizza. I love you all. One love.